Hi, thanks for tuning in. Although I have to say before we start that if you're really religious, you might have a problem listening to this, so you might not want to go on with it because I might say things that differ with what you believe. That happens anytime you get into religion. But sometimes I wonder about hell. And I've written two books actually that most of the books take place in hell. One's called Lucifer's, and in that one, a man is hanged back in the 1700s, I think, and he goes to hell and goes through all the tortures that happen in what people consider to be hell. An example, people who have claustrophobia, the way they were punished was to be thrown into a pit on top of other people, and then other people thrown on top of them. So they end up buried for just tremendous amount of time in a very claustrophobic state. So it would be horrible. If that's hell, yes, that would be horrible. Uh, and the other book that I wrote was a comedic picture of hell. It was called Halliburton, which is a play on the words of Halliburton, which is where Dick Cheney used to work, used to own, and wanted to make as much money as he could with that. When he became a vice president. But anyway, in that book, Dick Cheney and George Bush have taken over hell in their search for weapons of mass production or mass destruction, not production, destruction, and haven't even described a cherub because they want to know what's going on, what the hell's going on in hell. So they disguise a cherub as an attorney to get him into hell. But the attorneys are being rejected because they've overpopulated hell. So I had a lot of fun with it. But it's because I'm thinking about hell, that it caused out of the 14 books that I've read, two of them to be on the subject and take place in hell. So I think about it. I really do. But I have an issue. I have issues with hell. Like a kid who's not baptized, will go to hell because he was not baptized. Um, Someone who doesn't believe your faith could go to hell simply because they believe in something, with their entire heart, for something else, but they go to hell because they don't believe in what you believe. Or you have someone that they didn't have a great life and they did bad things, and so they go to hell because they had kind of a bad life for dozens of years. But then hell, they're there for millions of years. I mean, they don't. I don't know how long hell is supposed to exist because there are many people who believe that humans only have lasted for have only been here for around 8,000 years or so. So how old is hell? When was that created? It's just I don't know. And when the cavemen existed, did they know anything about hell? I mean, did they have any belief in it? Or a murderer, that he can kill people, do horrible things, rape people, and then if he accepts God at the last instant, before he's put to death, then all of a sudden he can go to heaven. But then meanwhile that kid who wasn't baptized goes to hell. I have so many problems and issues with it, and I think it through, and they're lies, I mean, they're definitely religious lies. I mean, Christmas being Jesus's birthday, um, that's not what December 25th is. It's not his birthday. They believe he was born in July, but it was created that way, you know, to create a holiday. And I don't know. It's or Mary being a prostitute. She wasn't a prostitute. Or even creating Sundays. Sundays didn't exist until the Sundays that we know until well after Jesus died. A week is a week now. It's 7 days now. But the ancient Greeks and the Egyptians, a week was 10 days. The Mayan calendar had 13-day weeks and 29-day weeks. The Lithuanians had a 10-day week. West Africans had a 4-day week. The 7-day week was established by the Emperor Constantine in 321 A.D. So 3 centuries after Jesus was when the week was created. Then Sunday was created at that point. So it just happened. So when you look at it as a day where, I mean, Constantine made this happen. So I don't know. So I have my questions about hell, the same way I have my questions about other things like that. So does it exist? And in my mind, then I start questioning. am I already in hell? Because of what happened to me, with being paralyzed the way I was. I mean, my life was ruined by this thing. I was a competitive swimmer. When this happened, I had every tool. I built stuff. I built a roof. I built decks. I could do electrical work. I could do plumbing work. Well, light, not really good ones. My yard was a landscape delight. I put all these stones in the front yard. You should see what it looks like. Well, what it used to look like. Now I can't even keep it up to date. So I have workers come out that keep the weeds cleaned out a little bit, but it's not like when I was able to do it. And and the year before this happened to me was a good year for me because in 2019 I got to see my mother for the first time in 25 years after her husband, who ostracized her from her family for a quarter of a century, he passed away. So our whole family went up to visit my mom. And this was just 2 months before what happened to me that paralyzed me. So I haven't seen my mom since, but that was the first time I had seen her. So 2019, I had some big. I mean, we got our American Staffordshire Terrier pit bull from a shelter, and he just brought so much love into our lives. And we got him the year before I got paralyzed. We built a fence in the backyard. We have a big yard, and built one of those big white plastic fences, we didn't build it, we had it put up, so he could have a huge place to roam. And then I walked him every single day, and if it was raining, he hated it, but he'd walk because he wanted to be with me. And I dug out the foundation for a shed, that I was going to build the next year, and I bought a cement mixer, and I was ready to go with that. And then I got the shot. Then I got the Shingrix shot that ended up paralyzing me. And YouTube, please do not ban my video because I said that a vaccine paralyzed me. I've already proven it. Look at my previous videos. They admit it. GSK has their commercials saying, yes, we warn that muscle weakness can happen. I have the muscle weakness that they call it. But it's transverse myelitis. So YouTube, do not ban this video, please. But anyway, it put me in a position, I visited my brother down in North Carolina in 2019 and rode a motorcycle for the first time since before my first daughter was born. We got rid of the motorcycle when we decided to have kids. Figured let's not be on the motorcycle. But I went down there and he had a bunch of motorcycles. We had a nice day, riding the motorcycles all over, and we decided that every March, we would get together and have a good time together, and ride the motorcycles and visit each other. And then I got paralyzed, and my hand is screwed up. Both of my hands are screwed up. My blood pressure is screwed up. My pulse rate, which used to be 54, is 72, so it went up 18 beats every single minute. My heart goes more. I'm just screwed up physically. It's just not the fact that I can't walk and I have to be in a stupid wheelchair. My hands are screwed up. I can't do things with my, I've typed, you've heard me talk, 14 books. I used to type, 75 words a minute. And now my fingers don't work the way, so I have to do this one finger pecking at it. Like a lot of people, never learned to type, they did it, and they're going, welcome to our world. But no, I was a typist, so I could type very fast before, and now I can't. So I still mess with it a little bit. I can do the typing, but it's hard, especially my pinky on my left finger is really screwed up, and unfortunately that's the one for the A key, which you use a lot. So I'm typing the X a lot, and just hitting the wrong keys because that finger is just totally messed up. So so physically, I feel like I was in a hell, and then we had Trump take over and become our president. He's killing our country. Here's a guy that came in and he told his nephew that disabled people should just die because of the expenses to take care of us. Meanwhile, we spent $11 million so far on his 3 weeks of golfing that he's done. So he's costing way more in this country than I am. But then the things that he's doing to our country, I mean, I don't know if you saw the Zelensky uh, interview. I couldn't have been more embarrassed by what our president did than what he did then, and the things that he prevents that he doesn't like things in schools that he if he doesn't like it, he'll take away the funding for the schools just by saying things that he doesn't like, and then he tries putting the Bible and the Ten Commandments in those schools, and then he threatens to send armed forces to places. That's what a dictator does. That that's not right. Or I mean, forcing a religion on us, which really is ironic coming from him because here's a guy who's broken every single one of the Ten Commandments, every single one, including death. I mean, he's killed people with the things that he's done. So murder is part of it, but he's definitely, looking at his neighbors' wives and doing everything else. Look at every single commandment and go, did Trump do that? Did he break that? And you go, yeah, he kind of did. So, I yeah, and then he's starting to do other things that might cost us even more. I mean, to take away our country. He's the free press. I mean, he had for that interview he had with Zelensky, he had a Russian person there, but he kicked the AP and Reuters out. So, it's clear what he wants. He wants this to be a dictatorship, and he wants to do whatever Putin and the Russians want him to do, and the billionaires. I mean, he's just their stooge, is what he is. But I'm really afraid what's going to happen to our country. I mean, he's trying to take away our medical rights. He's I don't know. He's just killing our society. I mean, is he? I mean, we already have billionaires that own Facebook and Twitter, and they already, they're going to ban things, from people like me saying the things I need to do. Will you two do that too? Will they ban me simply because I'm saying things against Trump and the autocratic government that he's trying to set up? I don't know. So this might be one of the last videos that I'm able to do because Trump doesn't like the things that I'm saying and things. So I'm very concerned, about what's happening to me. I'm very concerned about what's happening to our country, and then it's got me wondering, am I in hell already? I don't know. I don't think I am. I mean, there are worse things that could happen. I can see food still tastes good. My dog's still alive. Uh, I don't know. I just think when it comes to hell, um, if I end up going to hell for the things that I don't think I've done all that bad, but if I end up going to hell, how much worse can it be than what I'm dealing with right now? I don't know. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep fighting it, and I'm going to keep doing the things that I enjoy, and I'm going to keep loving the people and the dog that I love, and taking care of everybody that I can. And so I'm going to keep fighting it. But I kind of wonder, we need some angels around here really soon. We really do. So anyway, I talked about my books. So the caveman book out right now is Cave Mannerisms, and it's a collection of short stories that about cavemen and cave women and cave children, a little bit of dinosaurs thrown in there for fun, and it's a great deal of fun to read. If you just go into Amazon and look for my name and Kindle, you can read the beginning of any of my 14 books. You can just read some of it, and if you like it, they're free for Prime people for Kindle. Otherwise, you can buy them for not. I don't price them very high, and you can get a paperback if you want to get that as well. I don't have videos or audios. Sorry, I had somebody ask me about that the other day. Just not up for doing that yet. But anyway, thank you again for listening. Sorry if you disagree with me politically or religiously with the things that I said. Um, but this is based on my 6 decades in here and what I see and hear and know. And I know I've read books about autocratic dictators and the things they can do. 1984. I mean, read that. And look at what's going on today. The jungle. That's what billionaires want us to be doing. Atlas Shrugged. Read those 3 books. That's what they want for us, and they might be getting it because they own the government right now. They own all 3 parts of the government. They own the Supreme Court. they own Congress and they own the presidency, and they can do some horrible things to us, and I truly hope they don't. So I hope that I'll keep being able to do the videos, and if I'm wrong, I'll apologize for it. So anyway, take care very much. My website, www.normcowie.com. That's COWIE. Thank you for listening and watching. Take care. Bye-bye.